Not all comfort gear is worth the wait, but these 5, I'd bring them again in a heartbeat. All right, we're talking trail comfort, real upgrades that made long miles more livable. These aren't just comfort items, they're gear I've carried, used, and actually appreciated when things got rough. There's this idea that comfort and backpacking don't mix, that ultralight means no pillow, no chair, no joy. But the right comfort item at the right time, it can change your whole trip. These 5 upgrades solved real problems, had a noticeable impact on my trips, and they've all earned a spot in my regular rotation. So I used to make a pillow by stuffing my fleece or my rain jacket into a stuff sack, and that was my pillow. It kind of worked maybe for the first hour or so, but I'd almost always wake up at like 1 a.m. and my pillow had become a flattened pancake. So then I'd have to wake up, fluff the pillow back into shape, try again, an hour or 2 later, same drill. Eventually, I just give up and accept that I was gonna be sleeping on a hard surface and not an actual pillow. And if it got colder than expected during the night, well, now I have to wear that fleece just to stay warm, so there goes my pillow. I never really got a full night's sleep, and stuffing my clothes into that stuff sack at the beginning of each evening was something I always kind of dreaded, because I knew what was coming. Then I tried a small inflatable backpacking pillow. We're talking apple-sized when packed, but you inflate it and you've got real comfortable support. It's always there, it's always comfortable, and it only weighs a few ounces. And the best part, you can dial it to your comfort level. Enjoy a high, firm pillow, blow it up all the way. Prefer soft and squishy? Let a little air out. Side sleeper, back sleeper, either way works. Some of the most popular pillows are the Trekology Ultralight Pillow, the Sea to Summit Aeros Pillow, and my personal favorite, the $3 Flex Air Pillow that weighs less than 1 ounce. For something this light, it's had a huge impact on my sleep quality, and to this day, I never hit the trail without my camp pillow. I held off on bringing a full-on camp chair for way too long. It's too bulky, too bougie, and too expensive. That's what I told myself. But after enough nights sitting on cold rocks, wet logs, or just hunched over on the ground, I started craving back support. Leaning against my pack worked for about 6 minutes. Then eventually something started going numb. So I ended up picking up the Helinox Chair Zero. It's stupid light at barely over a pound, it packs down small, it's easy to set up, and yeah, at $150, it's a splurge. But the first time I used it, instant regret for not doing it sooner. No more squirming in the mud, no more kneeling on the ground, no more muddy pants. An actual chair with a backrest. After big mile days, that made a huge difference to my experience at camp. There's just something about being able to sit down and relax that is such a luxury after a day of hiking. And it wasn't just about that comfort. I actually changed how I spend time at camp. I stopped hiding out in my tent and just started enjoying the space around me more. Some of my favorite moments on a trip are relaxing in my chair, sipping coffee in the morning, or watching the sunset while cooking up a cup of cocoa as the evening approaches. Knowing I have a relaxing chair to rest in at the end of my hike is a real morale booster when I'm out there pumping out the miles. And if you're curious about backpacking chairs but not sure which one fits your setup or your budget, I recently put out a video comparing 5 different backpacking chairs, including the Chair Zero and some solid budget picks. It's linked right up here on the screen. After a long day on the trail, blowing up a sleeping pad feels like a weird backpacking hazing ritual. It sounds easy and many people do it just fine, but for me, it's the last thing my body wants to do when I'm actually out there. But here's the part nobody tells you. Blowing it up my mouth also pushes moisture inside your pad. I found that out the gross way. My first inflatable pad, the Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite, eventually developed mold inside from dozens of trips blowing it up by mouth. And yes, I stored it properly too. So when I upgraded to the newer version of the Neo Air X-Lite, I started to use a pump sack. Better for the pad, no moisture, but it still started feeling like a big chore I had to do at the time when I was the most tired at the end of a hike. It works, but let's be honest, it's not fun. When you're dead tired, fighting a big dry bag like it's a bellows while the wind blows it all around is not the vibe. Then I tried this tiny USB powered inflator, the Flex Tail Gear Tiny Pump. Oh man, did I love this thing. It clips right onto the valve, fills the pad in a minute or two, and I don't have to lift a finger. Plus it reverses to deflate in the morning, which makes packing up way easier when your fingers are frozen or you just want to get moving. So far, I've been able to inflate my pad 6 to 7 times on a single charge. So unless you'll be out for a full week or more, you probably won't even have to recharge it. It weighs about 3 ounces, it's about as small as a headlamp, and honestly, it earns its place more than a lot of gear that weighs twice as much. All right, one of the best comfort upgrades I ever added was a lightweight hammock, just for lounging in the day. Nothing fancy, I just started with a simple Eno hammock that I got off Amazon. Now, mind you, I'm not talking about sleeping in a hammock. That's a whole other thing, and you'd want a different type of hammock for that. I just wanted a place to stretch out, read, maybe watch a movie on my phone, whatever, without having to crawl into my tent. And they're not only for camp. I keep my hammock near the top of my pack, and sometimes I'll deploy it mid-hike while taking a break, especially if there's a killer view nearby or I'm hiking near a scenic river or a lake. Takes a minute to set up and suddenly I've got a front row seat to wherever I am. And bonus use, it's great to use as backup gear storage at camp if the ground's soaked or muddy. Keep stuff dry, off the dirt, and easy to access. Now, of course, with a hammock, you do need trees. Not every campsite will have a usable setup. And unless you're already experienced with hammock camping, don't try to sleep in it without first getting familiar with proper insulation for a hammock at night. Ask me how I know. Let's just say waking up cold in a hammock is not a good time. So one of the things I dread at camp is sitting there wondering, do I have enough fuel for one more boil? That's fuel anxiety, and it sucks. You start skipping hot drinks, undercooking your meals, or saving your last few ounces of fuel just in case. The whole vibe of your cook system shifts from comfort to calculation. So sometimes I'll carry a full 8-ounce fuel canister instead of the smaller 4-ounce ones. Slightly heavier, sure, but what I got back was freedom to cook or heat water any time I wanted. And that was actually a big deal. Tea at sunset, cocoa at night, coffee in the morning, even a second or a third cup. No more rationing my fuel, no more guessing by swishing the canister. I mean, sure, that works, but I'd rather not gamble on a hot meal. I like to be able to just fire up my stove whenever I want and heat something up. And yeah, sometimes that meant 2 cups of tea on cold nights or a full hot breakfast instead of just granola bars. The freedom to cook whenever I wanted was an emotional boost that had a bigger impact than I expected. And every sip reminds me why I'm out there. Most people think comfort is about weight, or more specifically, keeping your pack weight light. But real comfort is also about freedom to relax, recover, and actually enjoy the trail. These 5 things let me do that. And for a few extra ounces, each of these are items I'll throw into my pack without hesitation if I feel it'll improve that trip. And if you're looking for more small upgrades that make a big difference, check out my video on 5 cheap backpacking upgrades. These are the kind of items that cost almost nothing but seriously improve the experience. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Hope that helps you dial in your setup, and I'll see you out there.